It's been another interesting week in the Seattle Seahawks fandom. Fans of this team know what I'm talking about. It seems like every week with this team this year, something else is going on that makes us not entirely happy. And I'm sure fans of other teams in the league probably feel the same way about their teams every week because they follow their team so closely. But I mean, this core, this core of elite players that made us an elite team has slowly dwindled away over the last 3 years, and it feels like this year it's been pretty extreme. So things just keep happening off the field that distract us, and you can't tell me it doesn't have an effect on the product on the field. You can't tell me this stuff doesn't matter. It does. So I'll go ahead and address this first little bit of slightly unhappy news. I'm gonna just scale it back a little bit. I'm not gonna go crazy with it because, okay, Earl Thomas, after the Cowboys game, a game where we won, it was a close game. We didn't play very well, but we played well enough to win and save our season. Gave the fans finally something good to feel about this team. Earl Thomas, after the game, goes to Jason Garrett in the hallway and he says, "Hey, you know, if you guys have the chance, come get me." Okay, I'm going to give my thoughts on this one. I'll say this for one. I'll give you this. If you're really upset about this, I'll say this much. Thinking about Earl Thomas in any other NFL uniform, it's makes you want to puke a little bit, okay? We've watched this guy for the last 8 seasons. He's played in every game, spare maybe 10 total. He's gotten hurt 3 times in the last 2 years, and before that he never got hurt once, basically, except kind of in the NFC Championship game against the Packers, and he didn't let it stop him, so it would really, really be unpleasant to see him in another uniform. And I'll go with this. Maybe it's a little inappropriate to say something like that in the middle of a season, at the end of the season, and have it be caught on camera where you know it's not going to be private and people are going to hear about it and the team's going to hear about it. Maybe. I'm not so sure that's even the case. I'm not so sure this is a big deal. The thing is, first of all, we know that Earl Thomas grew up a Cowboys fan. He played for the University of Texas, the Longhorns, when he was in college. It makes all the sense in the world that Earl would want to be a Cowboy at some point in his career if the Seahawks were to move on from him or he were to move on from the team. That just makes sense, guys. So I can't hate him for having options open for the future. Realistically, Earl Thomas has 1 year left on his deal. He plays next season for us, presumably, and then who knows? The team doesn't seem like they've been very active about trying to extend him, so he probably knows, he probably understands that there is a real possibility that the team might be ready to move on, and he's thinking about his options for the future. I can't hate. I can't. This league is a business. Earl understands that, and Earl is thinking like, hey, Dallas, their defense isn't that good. They could use better safeties. The Seahawks might be. Who knows if I'm going to be here after next year? Who knows if I'm even going to be here next year? I want to have options, and I can't hate the man for wanting to have options. And beyond just that part of it, losing Earl Thomas now doesn't erase the 8 or 9 years of great stuff we got from him. He played incredible football for what will presumably have been 9 years if we let him walk at the end of his current contract. He helped us win a Super Bowl. He played at a Hall of Fame level year after year after year. He was a competitor. Nothing takes that away. But, and here's where the business part of things comes into play. Earl Thomas had never been injured in his entire NFL career for the first 5-6 years. And then he got hurt against the Packers in the NFC Championship game. Didn't really make him miss any time. Whatever. Last year, he finally had a minor injury and then a major injury. And then this year, he got hurt again and missed a couple games. He's been playing the position for, if you count college football, over a decade. He's a hard hitter. He's a small guy. He's, throwing himself into run support and tackling and throwing his body around the field. A not very big body, by the way. I don't want to say his play has really been declining, but he's no longer the slam dunk best safety in football like he was at one point. So my point is, look, we already gave Kam Chancellor a big money extension, and he played really well earlier this season. He gave us a really strong half a year. Then he got hurt. He might never play football again. And if he does, who knows what we're getting. Michael Bennett, we just gave him a big money extension. He came into this year, looked like he was going to have a good year, but he kept getting little injuries that held him back. I think he's out there playing with like 3 or 4 nagging injuries that are just preventing him from maximizing his potential out there. I'm going to go ahead and say it. We probably shouldn't have given Kam Chancellor that extension. We are probably going to regret it a little bit. We definitely shouldn't have given Bennett that extension. I think we're going to regret that hard in the coming years with the dead money or just having an ineffective player on the roster, however you want to put it. Do you really want Earl Thomas to be the next guy that you paid for past performance? I know we love these guys, but we need to recognize things. Kam, the way he plays football, it made sense that his career might be shortened, and it looks like it might have been this year. You don't want to get caught paying these guys after they're over the hill. I hate to say it because I love Earl. He's probably my favorite player on the team after Wagner, but let somebody else give him the 4-year, $40 million contract when he's about to enter a different phase of his career where he's just a good safety who gets hurt sometimes. Let somebody else deal with that. We'll have the Earl that completely shut down the middle of the field and forced turnovers and was a brilliant tackler and all that good stuff. We have signs of decline from Earl Thomas. We should use those. It sounds mean. I would love Earl to retire a Seahawk, and if we extend him next year or give him a new contract before he leaves, I will understand. I'll be happy, but I will recognize that we might be getting caught in paying for past performance. So that was a good 7 minutes on Earl, probably a little longer than I meant, but it's a big deal. And I know Seahawks fans care a lot about keeping that guy around. I would love to keep him around, but there are bigger priorities right now. And if he is planning for the future and he sees the Cowboys in his future, then let him. You got to let the man go if that's the way things play out. All right, so that's Earl. And then over the last couple days, there was some sort of flu, some sort of illness that was floating around our practice facility. A couple guys caught it. Earl, Bennett, they both missed some days of practice, as if they need another reason to miss days of practice with all the injuries they're already dealing with. So, not great. Not happy about that. And the injury report is not great. We know we're going to miss Nazir Jones, who had a setback with his ankle. DJ Alexander is out for sure with a concussion. And I'm sure these guys are going to play, or at least most of them, but it's not good to have these guys dealing with crap right now. Bobby Wagner, Luke Jokel, Luke Wilson. Those 3 guys, important to this team, important to whatever success they may have in 2 days. We just have to cross our fingers and hope they can go at 100% because we know what happens to this defense when we don't have Wagner. It all goes to shit. It is unspeakably bad when Wagner gets hurt. Nobody knows where they're supposed to be. The tackling is bad. The run lanes aren't getting filled. It's terrible. So we need to cross our fingers to have a healthy, happy Bobby. And now we have a game in 2 days. We know what we need to do. We know what we need. The Atlanta Falcons have to lose to the Carolina Panthers. Fortunately for us, the Panthers look like they're going to go all out to try to win this game. They look like they're going to be playing for it. As far as I know, anyway. They have some things they can play for, and even if they don't, They might still go out there and give it their all to beat their division rival and put them out of the playoffs. So I feel okay about getting what we need from the Atlanta-Carolina game. As for us, look, guys, this team is not very good. We all know that. We've watched them for 15 games. We kind of know what they are. They have a critically flawed offense, and it's not going to get better. We all have to live with our mediocre at best offense, and we have a defense that is trying their hardest, and sometimes it's not good enough, but they are trying. They really are. That's what we got, and we have a crappy special teams for the most part. That's what we all have to deal with. So at the end of the day, Arizona, they don't have their quarterback. They don't have their running back. That's what you need to know. I can bitch about injuries if I want to, and I certainly will, but Arizona doesn't have a quarterback or running back. They're down to, I think, Drew Stanton, and I don't even know who the running back is now. They're missing both of the guys that they were depending on this season. So this is a game that whatever happens in Carolina-Atlanta, you got to win. Because if Blaine Gabbert or Drew Stanton or whoever the hell is playing quarterback for Arizona in 2 days goes into CenturyLink Field and beats us with the potential of a playoff spot on the line, it will be the ultimate humiliation. Even if Wagner is not 100%, you find a way to make enough plays to make up for the fact that you don't have him. I know it's tough, but look, Arizona's not going to feel bad for us. They have, like I just said, they have injury problems of their own. So defensively, there are no excuses, even if Wagner ends up not being able to go or struggles to play or however things may pan out with him. Get it done. And offensively, I hesitate to even ask anything of these guys because it just seems like we're spinning our wheels to say, oh yeah, our offense is finally going to get it together after all these games of seeming like things are just kind of broken. Receivers maybe not getting open, Wilson not being confident in his reads, no running game at all, offensive line is very, very spotty. I cannot see our offense really getting it together in this game. So get the most out of your positive offensive drives. When you get in range for a touchdown, punch it in the end zone. We don't have time for field goals, especially with the situation with our kicker. I'm not asking for a great game from the offense. This Arizona defense, they're pretty good. They might be playing their last game for Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians might be gone after this game. I expect Arizona to show up and play well there, so about the best I can say is just be competent for certain stretches of the game. That's how low I have to get myself in order to feel like I have realistic expectations for this week. So I think we're going to win. There is no way I can pick us to lose in a game we're playing at home against Drew Stanton and Kerwin Williams or whatever their third string running back is behind AP now that AP is out for the year. And that's all you got to know. Win this game, get to 10 wins. I can take a little bit of pride in that, even if things don't go our way in the Atlanta game. All right, one more game, maybe. Let's make it count. I want to see this team close strong at home, even if it doesn't mean the playoffs. So let's go out there, get this win, go to 5-1 in the division, and roll the dice and hope it comes up good. See you guys later.